Hello, everyone, and welcome to round 4 of the RRLeagues GT3 Masters, which already marks the halfway point of this year's season, the 8th edition of the GT3 Masters. And we travel to our customary 2-hour race at Bathurst. So, all the way from Zandvoort to Bathurst, we have traveled for a 2-hour race. More information about that race you can find on the screen right now. So we have our 15-minute qualifying session coming up in about 10 minutes time, followed by a 2-hour race. We have 2 mandatory fuel pit stops, and we have some cloudy weather predicted. But most importantly, in terms of conditions, is the 5 a.m. race start. So we will be starting in the dark and racing into the sunlight, just like they do in the official 12 hours of Bathurst. Now, before we get into that action, as all of the drivers are setting their practice times in the final 10 minutes, we have 31 drivers on the grid, so it will be a busy mountain. But first, let's have a quick look at the current championship standings. So after round 3, the sprint race weekend in Zandvoort, where the 2 sprint races were won by Michael Thomas, that puts Thomas firmly in the lead of this championship, with Marvin Mackenberg quite a handful of points behind him, and Mackenberg jumping Bram de Preter after very solid performance in Zandvoort. His brother Sven Mackenberg is in 4th, and Cliff Bulke rounds off the top 5. That's also our pro top 5. And then for the Silver Cup, new this season, it's Radek Pavlacek leading by 10 points over Xander Huizing, and then Tommy Kosunen is a further 13 points approximately further back. So also quite a close battle on which we will keep an eye today during the race. And then looking a bit further down, the AM Cup, it's Stefan Vierloos with 50 points, followed by Ruud Dennis with 30 points at the moment, and Michael Landreth with 22 points. So also a battle that will continue until the end of this season. Also, as from this round, normally we have a dropped round coming into play, so everybody has the opportunity or the chance to drop one result, the worst result. So if you have a technical issue, just a bad race or sickness, whatever, there are a couple of drivers who reported in sick today. That one race will not count towards the championship. But looking at the team's championship, of course, with Marvin and Sven Mackenberg in 2nd and 4th overall, that also puts them firmly in the lead of the team's championship, followed already over 100 points back by Intense Racing, Bilke and Dore, and then it's NSN Racing, Windward Racing, and 77. In the Nations Cup, it's currently Canada, Damien de Grasse, with 118 points over Belgium and Germany. Now, you know the grid already, and we will have a further look at some livery launch week presentations in just a bit. But firstly, we have to thank our sponsors for this series. Firstly, SimLab, our main sponsor, offering quite a hefty prize pool for the Drivers' Championship from 1st to 5th place, and then 3 vouchers also for their shop for some committed drivers who have raced a minimum of 7 of the 8 rounds. Then Race App also has offered some Race App Store vouchers and some supporters packages for delivery launch week presentations, which we will look at in just a bit. And then the community itself will be gifting 2 GT World Championship tickets and t-shirts to the team's champions. Also, t-shirts will be provided if wanted to the Pro Silver Am and Ironman champions. So all prizes to race for in terms of standings, but also in terms of commitment, which we value most, and thanks to our sponsors. Now, Livery Launch Week is something that we introduced 3 or 4 seasons ago, and it's where the drivers and the teams can create their custom liveries and present them to the community before the season starts. Also, most of the time revealing their car choice for the season. And we will have a look at one of the next livery launch presentations. It's in the form of images. Let's see. Normally my voice should be fine. Last time around that was not the case, but here it is. Here we see Bathurst with the Mustang, and this is the already well-known horsepower racing car, the Mustang, driven by Radek Pavlacek and Sven de Wulf. So very nice images and very fitting for tonight, where we will be seeing these cars battling it out on the track with their striking red and blue liveries. A newly formed team, Pavlacek, previously in the Paradigm Shift team, but now created a new team with Sven de Wulf, and I must say they are not doing too shabby. So the Mustang drivers with some beautiful shots at the mountain. We will follow them a little bit more closely tonight and see what they come up with. And then it's from images we move to some video presentation. This time it's by Grizzly Racing, and Grizzly Racing is comprised of Ruud Dennis and our current GT3 Masters champion Max Bayer. Let's have a look at what they cooked up during the off season. So there it is, Grizzly Racing, racing in the Lexus with competitors Max Bayer in the Pro Class and Ruud Dennis in the M Cup. So very nice presentation made by them, and we have other presentations lined up to look at before the next races. Here we have the calendar again. So today we have Bathurst, 2 hours, and then we go even longer. We travel back to Europe, back to Belgium, to Spa-Francorchamps for the 2.4-hour endurance race of this season. Then it's round 6 at the Nordschleife, round 7 in Barcelona, and we travel back to Asia, to Suzuka, to end off the season. Now it's exactly the time to start the qualifying session. So let's see if we can get some live images from the grid, and we should be getting very, very close indeed. Here we are with the countdown timer at the end of the practice session, and I need to check why I don't have any control, but in any case we are on board with Wouter Billen, and I will quickly reboot my broadcasting tools. That is a lot better, and it's Bram de Pretre just in front of Wouter Billen and in front of Michael Thomas to start off this qualifying session. So let's get everything set up, and well, 20 minutes around the mountain, never easy. It's a long lap, takes a long time, and at the moment we will go on board. I think let's go on board with Michael Thomas for this one, who has these two guys in front of him. And he goes for the pass on Wouter Billen, who was trying to get a bit of brake warming and is now caught out a bit. Hopefully he doesn't lose any time, but he has the two fastest drivers of the grid in front of him, so giving it one last go to warm up the tires, hard braking, and Thomas gets the lap going. Let's listen and see what he can produce as a banker lap. And out of the final corner goes Thomas, and he gets in front of Bram de Preter with a 2 minutes and 1/10. So will we see a qualifying time under 2 minutes for this race? That's the question at the moment. Dylan Bayer, the Kaiser, joining us again as well for NSN Racing. All the times now flowing in, and we will go back to the cameras and have a quick look at, for example, Sven Hekke. Oh, and I made a mistake earlier. It's not Sven de Wilf, but it's Sven Hekke, teammate of Radek Pavlacek. So sorry, Sven. Let's have a look. He's currently in 12th position in the Mustang, 1.7 seconds back, but he is improving. So let's follow him around. Everybody is currently improving on their lap times. The whole field will be setting quicker times. So a bit less than a minute, you will see things changing there on the timing tower on the left hand side. Bit of a wobble there for Sven, but keeps it tidy. And the most difficult part, you would say, is done, but those final 2 braking zones are not the easiest by any stretch of the imagination. He's well up, 1.3 seconds. So let's see what the top contenders will be doing. De Pretre jumps into first position. And Hekke around the final corner keeps it tidy. That will be a big improvement. 5th spot for Sven Hekke. And as you can see, Bram de Preter missing out on that 159 by 2 thousandths. 3 thousandths of a second actually. Bilke also putting his Ford on the 3rd step, the 3rd spot. So good job for him as well. Huma is one of the guys that we missed last time around, and Bilke didn't have the greatest of evenings at Zandvoort. Qualified a bit further back, and well, that had an impact on his final race results in the sprint races. But at the moment, Richard Venema doing very well and leading his class in 21st overall. Sven Hekke currently leading the Silver Cup class. Xander Huizing right behind him. Well, 4/10 of a second back, but that will close down inevitably. However, we have Michael Thomas actually improving by almost half a second right now. And coming down the back straight. Also, Cliff Bilke is improving by quite a big margin, as well as the Kaiser. So the Pretre is under threat, and we will see a 159 in this session. That is for sure. And the first one to do it looks like it will be Michael Thomas. Up onto the high curb, across the line, and it's a 159.847. Everybody getting ready, and here's Cliff Bilke for intense racing. Across the line, he will improve as well. A good final part. Looks like his lap didn't count. No, indeed. All right, so let's have a look. Ian Paskin is in 24th at the moment. It seems like I catch everybody at the end of their laps, but who do we have? David Dore was doing well. He's jumped up into 10th position. And we have improvements also by Nigel Wood and Mike Landreth in 29th and 30th. So, as you can see, Sven Hikke jumped up into P8, putting a half a second between him and Xander Huizing in the Silver Cup, and also in the AM Cup. It's all bunching up there, as you can see. Venema, Weigt, Vierloos, not too far back. Let's have a quick look back as the Pretre finishes his lap, and he is up. Let's see what kind of lap time he can produce. He's behind the purple 77 car of Cy Fillingham, and across the line it's a 159.7. Again, it's a battle between De Pretre and Thomas. If De Pretre wants to challenge Thomas for the championship, he needs to get a better result than Thomas in this race. And that will not be very easy, but he has his teammate, Amadeo de Keizer, right behind Thomas as well now. Can de Keizer play a role here? Thomas is a solo entry. He doesn't have a teammate. And Rafael Xampel, let's see where he is. In 20th position. And moved up into 17th. So good one for him as well. Let's see who is improving. Ruud Dennis is currently in last, so we lost one driver. Seems 20. There he is, Ruud, on the back stretch. And improving by almost a second currently. Let's follow his final sector. Hard braking. The Lexus is quite good here, it seems, but the first of the Lexuses is Marvin Mackenberg, only in 6th. Remember, he took pole position 2 times, as Dennis stays in 29th position. Now everything's settling down a little bit, but example in the Porsche, he's improving. And the top 5 is also improving. There's those example. He might be jumping up into the top 10 if he gets the final corner right, which looks like he does. And it's top 10, P10 indeed for him. Margins at the front are very small, and the improvements being made are also very, very small. Although we have to keep an eye out on Xander Huizing. Oh, really pushing very hard. He has, let's see, about 2/10 to catch Sven Hikke, currently in 8th position. I wanted to say he's currently doing that, but he lost a bit of time here in this section. So can he gain that time back in the final sector? That's very tough. He has Sven Mackenberg right behind him, 1.1 seconds behind Bram de Pretre pole position at the moment. And Venema at the moment in the lead of the AM Cup. Oh, and Huizing chooses to try from scratch. Max Bayer. Wouter Billen as well, again with a solid performance. And Max Bayer as well as Sven Hikke, both are improving. There goes Sven. Across the line, up into 7th position now. So putting a 4th tenths between him and Xander Huizing now. Bilke jumping up into 3rd. He gets in front of Wim Billen. And Bayer jumps up into P6. Everything bunching up. But it is actually Wouter Billen currently quickest of the bunch. He's 2.5 tenths up, and that's exactly what he needs. So can he keep it together on the mountain? Let's go on board again in the Mustang. Very difficult here. Oh, not great, but yeah, losing a bit of time due to that mistake. And you take that with you all the way down the straight here. Can he claw some of that back in the braking zone for the chase? Marvin Mackenberg as well. We'll go to him in just a bit. Billen, slight improvement possibly, but no, not even. There is Marvin Mackenberg, 2nd in the championship, remember. So, as we have 3 minutes left on the clock. Let's see this final section from up high. P7. He will jump up, but where will he end up? P7 becomes P5 for Marvin Mackenberg. Very well done. And Huizing, Sven Mackenberg. Across the line, up into P9. He was in P13, 14, if I'm not mistaken. And Radek Pavlacek, actually, he was in the Silver Cup lead. And he jumps up into P10 just at the end of his lap. We caught him there. So will we see any changes in the different classes? Bram de Pretre with his 159.7 currently on his out lap. And Thomas, he is on a lap. Not improving too much. Huizing, he's improving. Can he get close to Pavlacek and Hikke? The two teammates in the Mustang versus the Ferrari. As the Pretre starts another lap. Ooh, and he gets a very good first corner. 1.5 tenths up with his teammate right behind there, Amadeo. And also Ralph Arella in P19 at the moment. He is flying. Let's quickly jump to Ralph Arella and rejoin de Pretre for the end of his lap. Here comes Ralph. He will jump up from P19 all the way up to P17 only. So had a bad last sector, I think. Raffaella already told us he is not feeling too well tonight. So let's hope he can make it through what is one of the most grueling races on the calendar, 2 hours around Bathurst. And Bram de Pretre finishing off his sector over the mountain. Oh, and it's getting close. It's getting very close. We actually have top 5 all are below the 2-minute mark, which I didn't expect as the timer runs to 0. So this is the final shot for De Pretre to improve his lap. He is up just a tiny bit, just a tenth, but that could make or break his qualifying. Here he goes across the line, and he does improve. He does improve. Michael Thomas at the moment on the mountain, not improving. Bilke back to the pits. So who do we need to look at? Hecke is not on track. Pavlacek not on track. Huizing not on track. So that's the top 3 for the Silver Cup. Sorted. Venema not on track. Vierlos is on track. Goes across the line, but doesn't improve, so doesn't get the chance to set another lap time. Arella with a last-ditch attempt across the line, and he jumps up into P9. Very nice result for him. And who else do we have? Rob Taplin. He's also going across the line 13th, becomes 9th position, pushes Raffaella into the P10 spot. And Sven Mackenberg across the line as well. He stays in 11th. So that's the grid set for our 2-hour race. As you can see them here lining up, and we have a 5-minute countdown timer to give the drivers ample chance to get prepared for the 2-hour race. And I will also take a very small break. But what a performance by Bram de Pretre to put the pressure on Michael Thomas. Will we see a launch like last time around at Zandvoort by Michael Thomas, who took away the lead of the race from Marvin Mackenberg twice? So got ahead into turn 1 and never looked back, took the race win. Can he do the same with Bram de Pretre? That will be the question. The run down to turn 1 is not as long here, so if you get it right or wrong, it could make a difference. But we'll let the drivers sort themselves out, and I'll rejoin you in just a couple of minutes. So everybody now getting ready for this 2-hour race in the night. For the race start, that won't be easy. That won't be easy. That will be a challenge for everyone. It will normally remain dry, but let's see. Have a look at that very, very nice grid indeed, with all the custom liveries that everybody has put so much time on. So yeah, we have sunny conditions for at least the next 30 minutes. The sun will be coming up about half an hour to an hour into the race, which will provide an extra challenge, and most probably the track temperature will start to rise as the sun comes out. So we'll have to see about strategies. We have 2 fuel pit stops that are mandatory. Everybody now putting their headlights on and getting their start sequence ready. And we will be joining Cy Fillingham on the formation lap. He is, let's see, in 18th position. Once he gets going, we'll jump into his channel and see. There he goes in the purple Lexus. Let's see if we can have a quick chat with him as he goes across the mountain. Hey Sai, good evening.
Good evening, Miguel.
How are you? Excited for 2 hours of Bathurst once again?
Excited and nervous.
As always, as always.
Yes, it was a tough qualifying session actually. I didn't really get into my groove as much as I'd liked, but yeah, here we are, P18, so we'll just have to try and survive and make steady progress.
Yeah, indeed. I know it's always one of your favorite entries on the calendar, always a must-have, so let's hope you have some good luck.
Yes, let's hope so. Let's hope we can get some good, a strong points finish, and for Ralph also, so that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, indeed. Let's hope Ralph makes it to the end. He had a good quali at the end.
Yes, I saw him. He was pretty even towards the end, but then he must have had a good flying lap right at the death there, and P10 I think, so that's pretty good for Ralph.
Yeah,
let's hope
indeed.
Hope he can stave off his illness and see the checkered flag.
Yeah, indeed. All right, mate, good luck, and I think this might be the earliest Bathurst race start we ever had, 5 a.m. I think most of the time it was 6.
Right, well, there we are. Something new every time.
Right, good luck, mate.
Okay, thanks, Miguel. Good
Cheers.
luck.
So here we are, everybody making their way across the mountain. The race leaders are here. We will stay in the helicam to get the best shot of the race start. But as you can see, it's pitch black, and that is an added challenge, especially if anyone crashes across the mountain on lap 1 in the dark, or well, even lap 5 or later. It will be tough to spot, tough to carve your way through, not make the mess any bigger. So let's hope everybody makes it through turn 1 and lap 1 cleanly. We've seen some great lap 1s, I think, in the first 3 rounds of the season, so let's hope everybody can keep this up. Here you can see the whole field on Conrad Straight, and they will start to line up very shortly In the 2x2 formation, we will have Bram de Pretre on the right, Michael Thomas on the left. And we'll see. Can Bram get a good start? And can he kickstart his championship contention once again? And can everybody get to the checkered flag in one piece? We'll have to see about that. Wishing all of the drivers good luck. And fingers crossed for no incidents. There we go. Everybody starting to line up. And there we go. A good start for Michael Thomas, but no overlap at the moment. De Pretre turns it in. Let's have a quick look further back. Oh, a bit of an incident there at the back. Not too many involved, luckily. And Michael Thomas slots in behind. Wouter Billen remains in third. Sorry, that's Bilke remains in third. Billen in fourth position. Or was there any change there? My timing tower is updating as well. But looks like Wouter Billen might have caught... Yeah, Wouter Billen in third. Cliff Bilke in fourth position. Let's have a quick look at the track map. Oh, slow car on the mountain. Let's have a quick look. Carving their way through. But at the moment, everything... Here's the Nigel Wood, unfortunately, at the back of the pack. But for the rest, it's looking quite well bunched up. So a bit of an incident there at turn 1, but at the moment everybody still going and no big issues. So let's give our helicopter man a bit of a break. As we finish off lap 1, and we have 1 hour and 58 minutes left on the clock. All the times now coming in, all the gaps being set. And here a bit further back, here you can see everything's still very bunched up. Cy Fillingham made his way up into P17, so gaining a spot. Here he is. Some side-by-side action right behind him. That's Robert Horvat on the inside. Oh, that's Sven de Wilf on the outside. Let's see. Robert Horvat gets in front. Yes, he does, and they are behind Cy Fillingham. So at the moment, look at this. Sven Hecke all the way up into P6 after that race start, in front of Bayer, Arella, Mackenberg, Taplin, and well ahead in terms of his Silver Cup challenge. Where is the closest battle? It's actually here at the front, to be honest. A bit less than half a second. Although Arella, Mackenberg, Taplin. Oh, Taplin, he is very close. Here he is, side by side. That was side by side with Mackenberg. He has Huma behind him. And everything resetting. Now, what I want to keep an eye out on is actually Amadeo de Keizer. He's right behind Billen. So de Keizer has gotten past Cliff Bilke as well. Bilke 1.7 seconds back, so he had a bit of an incident or a small mistake. That might be. And he's now in P5. But can de Keizer, can he get past Wouter Billen somehow and pressure Thomas in losing another spot? Because de Pretre is eking out the gap, but he needs more than just one position between him and Thomas to make a meaningful difference in terms of championship points. Well, let's see what de Keizer can do across the mountain. Sorry, I thought Taplin was very close, but that's just my timing. Whoa, up the inside, outside. Ooh, de Keizer is pushing really hard. He wants to get by Wouter Billen as soon as he can. And I must say that Ferrari looks very, very planted indeed. Right, so it does give Thomas quite a bit of a gap behind. Already these two battling, and it does give the opportunity to Cliff Bilke to slowly but steadily regain his confidence in the car. So I think he must have touched the wall somewhere, but he wants to try and stay in touch with Sven Hecke right behind him. And his teammate David Tore, there he is. He's looking at the back of the Lexus of Sven Mackenberg. Meanwhile, everything still quite bunched up indeed. And the Mustang and the Lexus, of course, very strong in a straight line. Let's see Yellow Bull Racing, Sven de Wilf battling it out with Robert Horvat in front. Oh, that's Cy Fillingham up into 15th position. He's in front of Xompel. Then it's Horvat, as you can see, and Sven de Wilf. So a nice pack here with Fillingham at the front of that. But not too far back from Marvin Mackenberg, Sander Huizing and David Tore. Great sights here, Bathurst in the dark with the city in the background and the sun coming up. Yeah, that will take a while, but will be coming. Oh, that's a big one, I fear. Looks like they got through that cleanly. Oh, that was a big slide, I think, for Sven de Wulf. That has left... Was it Sven? Not sure. I think it was. But oh, that was very, very close to finishing that race already after 10 minutes. Luckily, they all got going again. And de Wulf has Paskin and Partes and Venema and Virlos and VIII all within 1 second of one another. So let's have a look. De Pretre, Thomas in the background. Then it's Wouter Billen and De Keizer, followed by Bilke. But De Keizer not putting the amount of pressure he was doing before. But let's go on board with Huma. The Windward Racing Mercedes across the mountain, now with a full tank. So we saw Thomas and also Billen going flat out through this section here, but with a full tank of fuel, not in a million years. And this braking zone, oh so difficult to keep getting right every single time. But these guys are managing it. And you can see as well, let's have a look at that. Look at this. This is the battle on track for the AM Cup lead. It is Richard Venema, followed by Stefan Virlos, followed by Dirk VIII. So as well for these guys, a very nice battle indeed. And as you can see, also the AM Cup drivers putting in a lot of practice and driving consistently, predictably. And Tino de Munk for Yellow Bull Racing, he is behind these guys and watching this, hoping he can try to find a way past and get close to Iridios Partes, his Silver Cup rival, 4 spots up the road. And look at all those marbles. Oh, a bit of a wobble there for VIII. And it's oh so difficult to pass here, of course, if no mistakes are made. There is, of course, some opportunities into the last corner, first corner. But here across the mountain, you need to count on a mistake. And then still, even if someone makes a mistake, you need to try and find a gap, find a way past without compromising your own race. But this is a battle that will go on and on, I think, until one of them makes a mistake, maybe. Let's have a quick look. Rob Taplin now really putting the pressure on Sven Hekke. Sven Hekke dropped down to P8. So was in P6, now in P8. And Rob Taplin, oh, not the best exit for Sven. Will he have to defend? Let's see. Taplin, he is getting close. Can he make a move? Goes for the inside line. And Sven leaves the door open. Doesn't want to fight with 1 hour and 45 minutes left on the clock. He's very much allowed to fight, but thinking about his class, it's no biggie losing a position to Rob Taplin, who is consistently running in the top 10 most races, so gives you a good benchmark to go against and to try and follow. And at the front, the Pretre really putting that gap to 3.3, and you might already seen it, but Amadeo de Keizer has gotten past Wouter Billen, and I don't too often go to the replay, and there have been several occasions where we could have gone to the replay, but I'll do it now to see if we can find where that happened. It's a bit further back already. Oh, there it is. So down the mountain, a slight mistake by Wouter Billen, possibly. And the Keizer makes the move stick. Let's have a quick look again. There they come. And gets it done. So, good move after a slight mistake. Now, can the Keizer get close to Thomas? That's the question. The Ferraris are looking good. I'll keep an eye out on lap times. Last time around, the Keizer was 4/10 quicker than Michael Thomas. So will he get under pressure? At least here, look at how close this is. This is Dore behind Huma. Whoa, big slide! But again, Dore needs to also ease off. There wasn't any way through. Dore seemingly taking it very easy here. Losing a bit of time. Maybe wants a bit of a gap as the sunlight starts to lighten up the track. And that battle for the Am Cup lead still as close as ever. Hannah Song is currently in last position. Has anyone pitted yet? Oh yeah, Rollins, Kosunen, Pavlacek and Song have already taken a pit stop. Have no idea if those were planned, but we'll have to see how that pans out. Here is Vierloos. Vierloos versus Venema, as they have Partes behind him. Partes in the pits. Now will we see a move for the lead of the class? Lamborghini versus Ferrari. At the moment it's a Ferrari looking best. But yeah, the Kaiser 4/10 quicker than Thomas last time around again. So that gap is slowly but surely coming down. Cy Fillingham currently on the last podium spot in the Silver Cup and chasing down Xander Huizing for that last position, or that second position rather, sorry. Meanwhile, the battle between Dore, Hikke, Mackenberg, Marvin and Sven. These guys are right behind. Oh, can Cy get through? Good defending by Xander. Can he keep this up? Side by side. Very tough one. Very tough one. Good try there by Cy, but that was quite easy to defend for Xander Huizing. But as I said, they are right there. Only 2 positions between these 2 guys and Sven Hikke. So Sven dropping back to P11 after being in P6 in the opening stages of the race. So yeah, just lacking that little bit of pace to stay with the top 10 guys in the pro class. But no shame in that, of course. Can Fillingham make a move? Oh, a bit of weaving there by Xander. And there goes Cy Fillingham. Xander seemingly apologizing, I think. But Cy Fillingham now up into P14. And Sven Hikke back up into P10. So he is in front of Marvin Mackenberg. And they have Huma in front of as well. Where's Dore? Dore has dropped back to P17. That was not the case. Let's have a... Oh. I'll be right back with some images, but looks like the game has crashed. We'll be right back. Just restarting the game, which seems to be working. So I wanted to go and look at that mistake probably by David Dore, but not sure if I will have the replay. I don't think so. So here we are back on track with Sven Hecke. There we go. All right, so to recap, we have Bram de Pretre leading this race quite comfortably at the moment, 5.6 seconds. We have Amadeo de Keizer trying to bring that gap between him and Michael Thomas down from 3 seconds now down to 2.4. And David Dore is in the pits. I don't think I can see a further replay than what we already had. No, we can't. So we'll have to hear about it after the race, unfortunately. Anyway, this puts Sven Hecke. Oh, I think that's Fillingham taking to the escape road. But yeah, Fillingham in front of Huizing, behind Sven Mackenberg and Marvin Mackenberg. So at the moment, it's NSN Racing doing the best job in the AM Cup. And Virlos and Venema still battling it out. Virlos now in front even in the AM Cup standings. And there we go. That's Sven Hecke. That's Marvin Mackenberg, sorry, going through on Sven Hecke. That's it. Marvin Mackenberg back into the top 10. Thanks, Yves. So maybe Dore spun it in the last corner, dropped some positions. That can well be the case. And indeed, Stefan. Unfortunately, we didn't catch that, but he is in front of Venema, and that gap is now up to almost 1 second. And Venema has Tino de Munk from Yellow Bull Racing right behind him. The car's very beautiful here in the night. That's the Useless Racers Lamborghini taking the advantage over the TSR Netherlands Ferrari. And Tino de Munk, as I said, right behind him. Now, what is the closest battle on track? Virlos clearly at the moment quicker than Venema. But, Tino de Munk. Okay. That's, I guess, VIII being blue flagged. So he's going a lap down, and the gap between the Keizer and Thomas down to 2 seconds now. And getting closer and closer. Sven Hecke and Sven Mackenberg, and Mackenberg goes through Hecke just a little bit wide into the first corner, and that's as easy as it is, and this puts some very nice perspectives for us, because this puts all the 3 Silver Cup contenders nose to tail. Hecke, Fillingham, half a second back. Oh, and we have these guys trying to get past. A slower car, it seems, but in any case, we have Marvin Mackenberg, Sven Mackenberg, Sven Hecke. Is it behind? No, Sven losing out. Losing out to both Fillingham and Huizing. We need to watch that again. That was very chaotic. Let's hope the helicam gives us a better view of that. So we have Sven Hecke. So this is Sven. It's Marvin in front. There we have a slow car. Who is that actually? Oh, yeah. Very unfortunate for Sven. Was that Sven Mackenberg? Just. Ah, okay. So Sven. No, it's Marvin Mackenberg. Looks like, yeah, Marvin Mackenberg got it wrong here. Bit wide. Try to recover and defend here on the inside line. And that just gave Sven, I don't think there was any contact, but this means Sven Hecke is now down into 3rd position in the AM Cup, and Cy Fillingham is leading. Yeah, it's all in the very, very small details here at Bathurst. That is for sure. But Sven, his fastest lap at 201.6. Huizing 201.9. Fillingham 201.5. So Fillingham and Hecke potentially very closely matched. Huizing a little bit slower, but maybe a little bit more consistent, as Richard Venema has gone into the pits for what is hopefully a routine pit stop for him in his battle with Stefan Firlos. We are half an hour into the race, and the Keizer again 2/10 quicker than Thomas. And the Pretere getting past. One of the Alpha Sim Sport Porsches. Everything is starting to lighten up. And now Sven Mackenberg. Let's see. Here is Sven. He is. He was rather right behind Michael Huma. Where is Huma? No, he's quite a ways up. Weird. So Lexus, 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 and then Ferrari, Porsche. Very nice battle, and now Fillingham wants to try and stay close to the Merkenberg brothers and get away from Xander Huizing, but that's not going to happen very easily. So we have a couple of different strategies. I think Kevin Rowlands is a bit off strategy, but we'll have to see come the end of the race what was actually strategy and what was just a mistake or coming in for repairs. Very tough to tell at the moment. Oh, and the gap at the front down to 1.3 between De Keyser and Thomas. So we will see an on-track battle between those two, I think. And Iridio Spartis already served his 2 pit stops, but he will not be able to make it to the end with 1 tank of fuel and 1 hour and 25 minutes left on the clock. That's just not possible. And David Dore, after his mistake, dove into the pits, and he's now stuck behind Richard Venema over the mountain. As the sun starts coming up, that will start bothering the drivers in just a bit, I think. When the sun really gets into your eyes, when you come down here, come down over Skyline. And Vierloos, again, he looks very quick and sounds very quick, but he's up into P18 already now. He has Tino de Ming behind, but he has to push very hard to get close, and Ruud Dennis is already 15 seconds back. So it is Richard Venema who has already taken his pit stop, who we have to look at to challenge Vierloos for the AM Cup win. Of course, as I will say too many times tonight, everything can change. It's just a fraction of a second around the mountain, so everybody will need to keep their wits. But currently everybody still focused. Now keep that up for another 80 or so minutes and you'll get that result that you worked and that you practiced for in the last 2 weeks. Cy Fillingham, Sparks. Fillingham started in 18th, up into P12 now, leading his class. And I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but having a blast of a race. He was due some good luck, so let's hope it stays that way. Oh, and the gap between Thomas and De Keyser back up to 2.6 seconds. Bit of a mistake there probably by De Keyser, I think. Because on the last lap he was again 3/10 quicker, so pushing a bit too hard, making a mistake. And he will have to do it all over again to try and get close, as our race leader Bram de Pretre is in the pits. Looks like he is going for a 2-stop strategy, and he will change tires twice, possibly. Here he is in the pits and losing the lead of the race, of course. But we'll have to see if Thomas and De Keizer follow suit or if they have another plan in mind. Kevin Rowlands, we haven't seen much of him yet. He is the first driver to have pitted already. So he is one to watch. He is right there with, well, not right there. I wanted to say with Sven Hecke, but Sven is 40 seconds behind him. So actually, Kevin Rowlands, unless Sven has had a massive incident, Rowlands is not looking too bad for a spot in the top 10. Maybe for him it was a call of just pitting at the end of the first or second lap, getting out of traffic, and just setting his laps. Let's have a look. Fastest lap 201.8. That's not particularly quick. It's around top 10. Xander Huizing, Sven Mackenberg quick, so we'll have to see where he ends up. Currently De Pretre has the fastest lap, and it's a very impressive 2 minutes flat with a big filled fuel tank, so nothing to be ashamed of, I must say. So here's De Keizer. Thomas keeps going. De Keizer on the same strategy as Bram De Pretre. Now what will Thomas do? Does he have another plan, like taking it to the 1 hour mark, changing fuel and tires, and then splash and dash at the end? That has been a strategy before, but looks like the Ferraris are probably too stopping for tires and pushing as hard as they can. Thomas will of course start to struggle with his tires and lose some time, but will he lose 30 seconds? That's the question, because 30 seconds is what you lose in addition. De Keizer, he is back up and running, and he comes out behind. Let's see, behind his teammate, of course. And he has Paskin behind. And who does he have in front? That's a lapped car. That's Kosunen. Yeah, Kosunen. No, sorry, it's a useless racer's Lamborghini. No, a TSR Lamborghini. So the gap between De Pretre and De Keizer, 8.6 seconds. So not the quickest stop by De Keizer, because that gap, I'm not sure how big it was. No, it was around 8 to 9 seconds. The gap between Thomas and De Pretre was 6-7 seconds before, as we see another TSR car into the pits, as is Robert Horvat. So a lot of drivers going for about 40-45 minute stints. Rafael Xampel, again, doing a good job after joining us for Zandvoort, for Prosecco performance in the Porsche. He has Bram De Pretre right behind him. And that is for position, so he is allowed to defend. The other gaps are a bit bigger now as we get into the first pit stop, real pit stop cycle. And Sven Mackenberg, Xander Huizing, and where is Fillingham? Fillingham is in 20th, but he did serve his pit stop, so decent pit stop for Fillingham, I think. No speeding in the pit lane, that's also always a good thing. It's quite difficult here at Bathurst, but still, you need to keep an eye out for that. And meanwhile, Thomas, Billen only 8.5 seconds behind Thomas as well, so that gap is not the biggest. So from this perspective, it's already quite light. Let's see from the onboard. Still, lights very much needed. Very late on the brakes there, coasting for quite a long time. I wanted to look at lap times for the silver class. Huizing, last lap 2:02 flat. Fillingham, last lap 2:02 flat. So very evenly matched, these two. Moment Thomas keeps going, so I expect him to pit around the 1 hour mark. And the track temp has gone up already by 1 degree. That might already also play a role. The Peter and the Keizer have already put on a new set of tires with maybe adjusted pressures, but they don't know what temperatures will do on the track, whereas Thomas will have a better view of that in about 12 minutes time. Of course, the Peter and the Keizer will be, I expect, will be pitting with about 40 minutes left on the clock again. They can choose their pressures again at that point. This is the closest battle on the track. Let's go on board in the Porsche of Xampel. He's behind the Pretre. They're behind Huizing and Huizing, keeping the Pretre honest. Let's go a bit. Let's go on board with our race leader, who doesn't get a lot of airtime most of the time. That counts for the Pretre, also for Thomas. Most of the time they get a bit of a break and then just put in their epic lap times at the front of the field without too much of a hassle. Huizing, not just moving over. Can the Pretre make the move stick? Yes, he can. Very bumpy there. Gets it stopped. Yes, he does. So now Huizing Example can battle it out for what is right now a top 10 spot. But of course, that's all virtually right now, of course. Bayer, we haven't seen too much of him. He's running in 4th right now. A bit further down once we cycle through the pit stops, I think, but well into the top 10 and not doing too bad. Here it's Rollins versus Dennis. Rollins has already been to the pits, as has Arella. He is in front of Rollins. And so what is the Keizer doing in terms of lap times versus Thomas? A 201.4 for the Keizer, a 201.0 for Thomas. So yeah, the Keizer at the moment a bit slower. Of course, he has a heavier car right now, but normally he has some fresh tires as well. So I thought he would have hoped to gain some time on Thomas, not lose it. And Vierloos now up into P13, of course, due to pit stops, but we'll have to see where he ends up when he does go into the pits. As it's now the fog is starting to be burnt away by the sun, which will come up quite soon indeed. The Pretre now behind Sven Mackenberg. That's a bit of a more difficult victim, I think. At least it should be. Will Sven fight Bram? That's the question. TSR car moving over, but Sven stays in front. Doesn't want to lose too much time to his brother, who's just in front. But Bram goes for the inside line. Will Sven defend? Yes, he does. And he sticks it around the outside, or keeps it on the outside. And that means that Bram will have to stay behind, probably for the whole mountain section. Let's get on board into the helmet of a probably frustrated Bram de Pretre, who with this strategy wants to get as big of a gap as he can over Michael Thomas and not lose time here. Gets a good launch, and now that should make it possible to make the pass, as Cliff Bilke is in the pits from P3. Of course, the Lexus not too shabby on the straight line, and the Pretre, late move, slides on the grass but makes the move stick. That was very necessary. He put on that move with a real sense of urgency, and luckily for the both of them it was clean and without any contact as far as I could see. And so Huizing is now in the pits. Let's follow him. No, let's actually follow Cy Fillingham. Fillingham getting past Dirk Wijk, I think. Yeah. So Huizing and Fillingham, where will they end up? Huizing still in the pits. Fillingham still has quite a long ways to go. Did he lose a bit of time? Huizing gets going again. Oh, he will get out in front of Fillingham. Quite a margin actually, or not. There is Fillingham. Oh no, sorry. Was a bit. He was at the beginning of the pit lane. That caught me off guard a bit, but Cy Fillingham retakes the actual lead of the Silver Cup class. Tino de Munk is in the pits, but he will normally end up behind both Fillingham and Huizing. So everything to play for, as we have Bayer, getting past Iridius Partes, I think. And Wouter Billen, he is in the pits. He is at the far, far end of the pit lane. Where does he end up in relation to Amadeo de Keizer? Oh, that was a very quick stop by Wouter Billen, right? Where is the Pretre? He's already on the mountain, but where is the Keizer? The Keizer is behind. Yeah, the Keizer is behind. No, in front of Wouter Billen. Sorry, that was a bit confusing, but the Keizer stays in front of Wouter Billen. That gap was quite big, so, and the drivers are lucky it's a bit cloudy, so no glaring sun when going across the crest here. And here is our race leader in the pits. He will stop all the way at the end of the pit lane as well. And Bram de Pretre, he's already making his way through the chase. So he will take first spot again The question will be what will be the margin, and what will be the margin between the Keizer and Thomas actually. Where is Thomas now? Let's see. Also Sven Mackenberg and Marvin Mackenberg stopping with 1 hour to go. And Thomas gets going again. There's the Pretre already on the back straight. And the Keizer wants to get past the Prosecco Performance Porsche. And he has, let's see, he can see Michael Thomas right up the road there. Now he needs to try and take advantage of a fully warmed up car to get close, but he will have to make the pass on track maybe in the next 20 minutes. The gap between the Pretre and Thomas 7.5, so everything still within within 10 seconds for the podium, I must say. Very planted for the Ferrari there. Looking very good indeed. Oh, and that was actually not a lapped Prosecco Performance, but that was for position against Rafael Xampo. So another challenge conquered. Kevin Rowland's already coming in for his second stop. Rob Taplin as well coming in. Oh, and where's Fillingham? Fillingham 29th now with still a pit stop. Oh, he has a bent car. He has made a mistake. But where did he make that mistake? So Stefan Firlos still running, still 2 stops to go. He's still in 11th position. And he has to battle it out. Ruud Dennis, Richard Venema. We'll have to see. Ruud Dennis currently in front of Venema. Also, both have made 1 stop, so looks like Venema has dropped the ball a little bit. Our current GT3 Masters champion from last season, Max Bayer, currently leading the race. Will he dive into the pits as well? Yes, he does. So that means that actually Stefan Firlos might be the only one still running. Let's see where he is. He's feeling good. Thinking, I'm feeling great at as one with the car. Oof. As I say that, almost bounces into the wall. But yeah, if you feel good, a pit stop can really mess up your rhythm, your feel for the car. So if you can't keep going, why not? 8th position now for him. Dennis is all the way back in 18th position. And we'll see where Max Bayer ends up. But quite a couple of guys. Let's see if Firlos doesn't dive into the pits right now. We'll try and find out what happened to Cy Fillingham. Yeah, there goes Firlos. Let's have a quick look if we can find Find out what happened to Cy Fillingham. There we go. Was in 17th spot. There we go. Did he just clobber the wall here in the braking zone? Oh, there he is backwards. Oh, looking very civilized, but then... Oof. It's in the braking zone here. Yeah, big sliding into the wall. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one for Cy. Unfortunately, I'm back into the pits as we saw. And Stefan Firlos has come out of the pits in 16th spot. And Ruud Dennis already back in the pits as well. So he is very much in control of this AM Cup class at the moment. How's it looking at the front? Well, the gap between Thomas and De Pretre is 10 seconds. So that's good for De Pretre. But Thomas is having to look in his rearview mirror now with 53 minutes left on the clock. De Keizer wants that second spot alongside his teammate. Can they keep threading the needle across the mountain? We need to keep an eye out for Ruud Dennis, of course. He has made his 2 pit stops now. He's in 23rd position. And we'll see what does he have in terms of pace. Let's see, Dennis 206. Oh, best lap time 202.5. Firlos. 202.7. So actually, Dennis's pace, raw pace, is a bit quicker. Can he keep that up? Of course. Can he keep this up for the next 50 minutes? And then he will be close or in with a shot for the lead. But Stefan Firlos has it all under control at the moment. Here's that battle for P2. Let's go on board again. See how close they are getting to those walls. Yes is the answer. Oh boy. Actually, it's a bit of a weird race, right? It's NSN Racing back at the top. Cliff Bulke in 5th, but he has his teammate Dor in 20th position, so not a great team performance. Pavlacek is in 27th. He has his teammate Sven de Wulf. Sorry, Sven Hecke. Where is Sven Hecke, actually? Did we lose Sven Hecke? Looks like we did. Oh, we lost Sven Hecke. That's a real shame. That is a real shame for him and for the race, of course. But the Mackenberg brothers, 10th and 12th, also not taking the big points haul. So this will shake things up for sure. This will shake things up in the Teams Championship and in the Drivers' Championship. The guys are really having to push hard. To stay close of Thomas, or try to get closer even. Really wondering if the NSN guys are going to pit in about 10 minutes time and whether they will take tires. Thomas is, in my opinion, a bit too close for comfort. I don't think they can justify taking tires, but that will put them on the back foot if they just keep going for 1 hour and 20 minutes, or they have lifted off the throttle a bit and not push the tires so hard, as we see what must be Huma. No, it is his teammate Kevin Rowlands. And he has one of the Alpha Sim Sport Porsches in front of him, which is also a lap down. But quite some drivers now already have taken their pit stops. And looks like Sai, when pitting for damage, for some reason didn't take fuel, which was within an hour's worth of racing, so could have just as well taken fuel. Unfortunately, that was not in the plans of the mechanics, let's say. So here, blue flags for Michael Thomas. Can this be the opportunity for the Kaiser? At least he can get close. Yeah, indeed. So I think the two NSN cars have taken fuel and tires on the first stop. They might just take fuel on the second one. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they do. Michael Thomas seems to be pretty obvious that he's going to the end and taking a splash and dash. Robert Horvat, he is also still involved in a battle. And it is with Xander Huizing, who is leading his class. Yeah, good point, Skinny. But I think as the Kaiser, Thomas, and the Predator are so close now, and we know for a fact, I think, that Thomas has taken tires. The other two did as well. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they're just holding fire for now. 11-second gap. I wouldn't gamble on making an on-track pass on Thomas. So if they can keep track position, that will be most important. It's now getting closer and closer and closer. Now the Predator, if he doesn't make a mistake, he's well and truly gone for these two. But the Kaiser and Thomas, they are stepping it up, and they have a Yellow Bull racing car just in front. Raffaella, he's in 7th spot. So at the moment, let's see. Raffaella versus Cliff Bulke. And a classic battle. Out of the last turn. So Ralph needs to hold on for another 45 minutes. And then he will then he can go lie down in bed if he wants to. Horvat and Huizing still battling it out as well, and I'm keeping an eye out for the Kaiser and Thomas. But these two guys, legends of the community. And indeed, Bayer, he is in 5th position, so a very anonymous race, but very solid indeed. Who's in the pits? It's Huma, Landreth as well, coming in for their final stops. And Vierloos keeping his cool in 16th spot in front of Sven de Wilf and David Tore. That Yellow Bull car still in front. Michael Thomas now flashing his lights. But let's see, is that Tino de Munk? Yes, it is. Tino, at the moment, not yet feeling the need to move over. And now he's put himself in a difficult spot. Whoa. Last ditch attempt from Michael Thomas. And the Kaiser follows through. Well done by all parties involved. But that was a bit scary for my taste. Sven de Wulf, Yellow Bull Racing, just saw his teammate Tino de Munk. Here's Sven, and he's putting pressure on the Silver Cup leader. Who has, well, yeah, he has a gap over Huub Dennis, but Sven being patient. Oh, good catch there. But Sven being patient with Stefan. Oh. Yeah, Bram de Pretre back in the pits and back out. So that was quick. Let's have a quick look if we can spot how long Bram was in the pits for, right? So he stops it. $20. Looked like 30 seconds to me. So I feel entire stop, but we'll have to see about that. In any case, Bram de Pretre and also Ralph Varela taking his pit stop, coming out in P9. Thomas and the Keizer now still a bit further back. We were looking at Sven de Wulf versus Stefan Vierlos. I'm really wondering when Vierlos comes into the pits, where he will come out in relation to Dennis and Venema. So Dennis, yeah, difficult to gauge how far back he is, to be honest. And Vierlos doing a solid job. Will the Keizer come in the pits as well now at the end of this lap? Or will he try to keep the pressure on Thomas? That was very close, Sven. Very close to the wall. Two Lamborghinis pushing all out. Two beautiful liveries as well. There goes Sven de Wulf, makes that pass into the chase and into the braking zone, and now Stefan can try and hook on his wagon and stay with these guys, as they have Thomas and the Keizer and also Dore coming up behind him. Yeah, Dore, that should be. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, that is Dore. He is fighting Vierlos in the wheel for position actually, but he's letting Thomas and the Keizer through. So we'll keep an eye out on this battle, and in the meantime we will see the battle between the Wolf and Fearless. Let's see if they play a role in the fight for P2. So will Thomas and the likes of Fearless come in at the very last lap, or will they just take that splash and dash? Yeah, with let's say 5 or 10 minutes left on the clock, that would be nice for me. So everything doesn't kick off in that final minute of the race. But I don't think they will be thinking about me on that one. So here's Thomas. Oh, and Fearless goes back past. Yeah, the Wolf was a bit more eager to let Thomas pass. And that gives Fearless the position again. The Kaiser comes in now. The Kaiser comes in. Into the pits. There he is. And Thomas keeps going. And Fearless can keep defending. Great race for him. Kaiser still in the pits. So should be taking fuel and tires, I feel. Yeah, that is quite a long stop. So fuel and tires it is. And now it's up to the NSN Racing guys to really put Thomas under pressure. And now half an hour left on the clock. Now it's money time. Now is the time that you could start to see your concentration fade. Especially for Thomas. His main rivals are far away, but also close. He needs to try and keep the focus, but he will check those gaps between him and the Prêtre and the Kaiser somehow, and hopefully he doesn't lose concentration for one split second. And Fearless is now behind. And they both dive into the pits. Also Fearless in the pits for his splash and dash, that would be then, Paul. Let's have a look if that is the case. You can just as well take it now and get it over with, because we have seen the 1 liter splash and dash sometimes not registering. That's a bit of a longer stop there for Fearless. Longer than a 1 liter splash and dash for sure. Maybe repairing some damage. He has the gap for it in his class, but yeah, looks like he is taking tires as well, although he's not on the jacks. Yeah, well, he was. Anyway, he looks to have done the same as Sven de Wilf, just a little bit slower. In the end, he comes out miles ahead of Ruud Dennis. But his battle with Sven de Wilf, for now, that is over. Right, let's see. Kevin Rowlands versus the other Yellow Bull Racing car, Tino de Munk. And yes, Cy Fillingham behind. Cy is currently in last position, so a lap down. But we saw that he has some good pace. And so can Rowlands, who's already served his 2 pit stops. Can Rowlands get close to the top 10, let's say? Sai, patient as ever. But as you can see, yeah, he might have done some repairs, possibly. As I said, he had the gap for it, but yeah. Here at Bathurst, better to feel confident in your car. And he has a 12-second gap to Ruud Dennis, even with that longer pit stop. So nothing bad going on there. Let's have a quick look. Here's Bram de Pretre behind Cliff Bulke. Will Cliff play nice? They are on the mountain, so not easy to let the leader past. Beautiful sights, beautiful colors snaking their way back down the mountain. Ooh, very close. Very close there to the back of Cliff Bulke. And I'm thinking about Bram as our virtual race leader, but I'm not so sure, actually. Not so sure about that. Let me check lap times for Virlos and Dennis. Last lap, Virlos 206.0, Dennis 206.2, but that's pit stopped lap times, I think. There goes Bram. And Bulkin as well, going through. And in terms of lap times, the Keizer 2 minutes 0.6, the Predator 2 minutes 0.7, Thomas 201.2, so half a second slower than the NSN cars at the moment. This is going to be a nail biter right until the very end. 26 minutes left on the clock. And the closest battle is still here between Tino de Munk and Kevin Rowlands on track. Kevin Rowlands' fastest lap 6/10 quicker than Tino de Munk, but at the moment they're running exactly the same pace, 202.5 for them. Oh, and Dennis taking 7/10 out of Stefan Virlos on the last lap, so also something to watch. Only 11 seconds between the two now. Let's hope Stefan doesn't regret his pit stop choices in about half an hour's time. Dore in the pits, and he comes back out. Currently in 13th spot, but he will end up behind these guys. So 16th at the moment. That sounds about right. Thomas, Billen and Bayer. They are in front of Bram de Pretre. Let's move just a little bit further up so we can see the gaps. So the gap between Thomas and de Pretre is 35 seconds now. 35. That's enough, let's say. Could be enough, especially if he doesn't need to take any tires. The track temp now up to 20 degrees, 6:45 a.m. and the track bathing in the sun. Kevin Rowland's really putting the pressure on Tino de Munk, but they have Wouter Billen in second spot right behind him. And they will have to let him through at some point during this lap, nor most probably. So Kevin lets Wouter past. Now it's up to Tino de Munk. How does he handle this? Can he hold out until the back straight? That would be most beneficial to him. Yes, he can. Now, very dangerous. If he lifts off the throttle here, it's very easy for Kevin Rowlands to come close very quickly. He's taking the inside line. Will he brake a bit earlier? Yes, he does. It's well negotiated by the Yellow Bull Racing number 79. Thomas, Billen and Bayer still on track, working lap 48 now. Now let's see. Robert Horvat actually joining this party for P13, and Horvat makes the move stick. That's for position, Kevin. You should have defended there, I feel. Lexus of Horvat now in between. Can he put enough pressure on Tino de Munk to get past? Kevin Rowlands has been behind for quite a while now. And other than the big crash of Cy Fillingham. As far as I could see here, no massive shunts, but yeah, I could have missed them very easily done, especially if they're a bit further down the field. Very easy to miss those kind of incidents. In any case, Vierlos versus Dennis. Dennis again, 7/10 quicker on this last lap, but most probably a bit slower on the previous lap because the gap is staying more or less the same, about 10 seconds. So with 20 minutes left on the clock, 9.7 between Vierlos and Dennis. Dennis will have to put in some massive laps to close down that gap. Actually, the Prêtre has had a bad lap there. Bilke is right there with him again in P5. Of course, he still has to pit, but 2:04.4 for the Prêtre on the last lap. A 2:01.4 for Thomas, so that's a 3-second deficit there. Well, back to this three-way battle. Yeah, and the gap between Vierlos and Dennis really yo-yoing around that 10-second mark. Now, again, 10.5, 9.7 it was before. So really closely matched between the two. Oh, and the Bilke has gotten past the Prêtre. First, let's have a look. Horvat making his way past. But let's go on board with the Prêtre. See if he... Yeah, he's had a shunt. Steering is off. Let's see if we can find out what happened. So Bilke behind, and now he's right there. So let's see. Yeah, a bit of a slow spin, and then needed to get back up to speed. Oh. So I think something must have happened already before, because steering was already off. So here it's still okay. Here it's also still okay. Here as well. Also here it's off. Oh yeah, there we go. Ah, big shunt there. Lucky to actually keep it going, but tough one. Very tough one for Bram de Prêtre. Because I think that is gifting Michael Thomas the race win as the Kaiser comes in the pits. The Kaiser comes in the pits again. That's not expected either. Oh, so it's all, well, falling apart is a big word, but going downhill for NSN Racing here in the final 20 minutes of the Bathurst 2 hours. And indeed, yeah, that sun. The drivers had some clouds, some cloud cover before, but that's all gone now. So now coming over Skyline, really tough on the eyes. And actually, Horvat was in front of the Munk and Rollins, but he's now back behind the Munk and Rollins. So all to play for, and the Kaiser dropping down to P12, or even, no, leaving the server. No points for the Kaiser, no points from the second driver of NSN Racing. That's not what you want to see, of course. All the points are important for the team's championship. And suddenly Sven and Marvin Mackenberg, 7th and 8th, are not looking too bad. They still need to make a pit stop, so quite a couple of guys. Thomas, Billenbayer, Bulke, example, Mackenberg, Huizing, the Munk, they all still have a pit stop due. And actually Tommy Kossonen, he's right behind Ruud Dennis, putting the pressure on, I think, but that's not what Dennis wants. Dennis wants to look ahead. And also Rollins now left, right, going left, right and center to try and get past Tino de Munk. I actually think that Thomas might have the luxury to take fuel and tires. Although Billen is within 25 seconds, so if he goes for just fuel, he might get caught out. That's not what he will want. But can Thomas win another one after round 1 and round 3? Can he win round 4? It's looking good for him. No mistakes so far from that side of the pit lane. Here is Kossonen. There is Ruud Dennis. He has Ralph Arella in front. And Vierloos. Let's see what the gap is. The gap is 8.8. Too big if there's no mistakes, but if there is a slight mistake by Vierloos, Dennis will be right there to pounce and take down the useless racer's Lamborghini. Will Tommy Kossonen play a role here in the Ferrari? He wants to get past as well, of course, wants to get into the top 20. Cy Fillingham, unfortunately, back in the pits. It all started so well for the first, more than an hour actually, but now it is going downhill. Alexander Huizing, Tino de Munk, both in the silver class, still a pit stop left. Will Ian Baskin get close to winning that class? I'm not sure. We'll have to see how long those pit stops take. Those gaps are quite big. Again, if they don't take tires, those stops are in and out. So it's just the time that it takes you to get through the pit lane. Stop for a quick splash. Oh, Horvath in the pits. Not a mandatory pit stop anymore, so must have had an incident as well. With Kosonen really pushing Dennis to the limit. .1 now for the AM Cup lead. As we reach the climax of this race, quite a couple of drivers still left or still have a pit stop due. Can Kosonen get the move done on Ruud Dennis? Or does the Lexus have the grunt to stay in front? Looks like it does. Will Ruud Dennis go defensive? No, he leaves the door open. That's a shame. That's a big shame. I think he could have defended there. It is, again, as I say, it is for position. And in normal circumstances, Vierlos will be a bit too far up the road, I feel. Here he is in the foreground. Horvath still in the pits, so dropping like a stone. Down to P22 now. And the Pretre 2.6 behind Bulke. So getting used to his crooked steering, but yeah, his lap times not what they used to be. 202.9 on the last lap. That's almost 3 seconds slower than his fastest lap time. Rollins has gotten past Tino de Mink. And look at that glare here. This makes it extra difficult to get this braking right. So 6 minutes left on the clock. So it will be very, very close for, no, it will be, yeah, 3 more laps. Three more laps, not 4. 3 more laps is what Michael Thomas has left. He still has a pit stop to serve. Potential risk, as does Wim Billen, Max Bayer, Cliff Bilke, Sven and Marvin Mackenberg, Xander Huizing and Tino de Mink. They all still don't know how the race will end. They might have hopes as Tino de Mink comes in now. Let's see how a quick splash and dash looks like. Stops it, gets some fuel, and should get going again momentarily. Yes, he does. Will he stay in front of Ian Paskin? I guess he will. Ian Paskin. Oh, Ian gets in front. Ian gets in front. There is Tino de Munk. So Ian Paskin, once they cross the timing beam. Let's see. De Munk. Yeah, behind Huma. That's where he came out indeed. So third spot so far. Now we'll have to see Xander Huizing, but we have Bilke and Mackenberg as well out of the pits. Arella also going out. So actually, once we, as I say, cross the timing beam, we'll see this reshuffle. And we see Raffaella in 7th spot, starting from P10. And a bit sick. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Xander Huizing. Max Bayer comes in the pits as well. Now, let's have a quick look at Xander Huizing. I think he must be coming in to be safe at the end of this lap. Running on possibly fumes right now. Where is Michael Thomas? Is he? He's on the mountain, so he will be coming in as well. But let's see what Huizing does. I'm expecting him to dive left. Yes, he does. In the pits. Snaking through the pit entry. Finding his spot. And stopping it up on the jacks. Position changes here between Bilke, Mackenberg. Thomas comes in as well. So, as I said, everything kicking off right now. But Thomas in, Huizing gets going. Where is Paskin? Paskin is still on the mountain. So yeah, it's Huizing with a commanding lead in the Silver Cup. Thomas stops it, gets going again. Where is his closest rival? Where is the Pretre? The Pretre is still coming through the chase now. So Thomas with a healthy lead. And Wouter Billen will leave it. I don't know, he's in. Thought he would leave it to the very, very end, but he's in as well. Marvin Mackenberg. He's coming in. Hopefully at the end of this lap, because else he won't have any time left on the clock to do so. But actually, yeah, Wim Billen even Wim Billen in front of Bram de Pretre by quite a margin. So looks like the splash and dash was the strategy. Marvin Mackenberg second in the championship. We'll get it stopped, and I don't think we saw any penalties for speeding in the pit lane so far. Let's hope Marvin doesn't break that. Good luck. Gets it going again. Counts towards his 2-stop fuel, and he will come out behind this battle with what is that? Bilke. Yeah, that is Bilke. Taplin. Here they are. So as the timer hits 0, here Michael Thomas finishes this Bathurst race in first spot, but he had to fight for it. He had to fight for it and not make any mistakes for the full duration of the race, which looks like he did. Bram de Pretre is coming through, so Billen was not in front of him. Bram de Pretre will take second spot here. Would have hoped to be first spot, but with a 28-second gap, not sure if that would make any difference with that mistake. Wouter Billen finishes in third. Max Bayer will finish in fourth position. Here he is, our current champion. Ralph Arella will finish in fifth. That's a very nice jump up for him. Sven Mackenberg in sixth. Cliff Bilke, seventh position. Although Rob Taplin going for the inside and taking the position away from Bilke. Yeah, that's 7th for Taplin and 8th for Cliff Bilke. Although, will we see a last corner attempt? No, we don't. So it's P7 for Taplin, 8th for Bilke. Example, across the line in 9th position. 10th position, I must say. Housing still running, and he wins the AM Cup, or the Silver Cup class, sorry, well in front of Paskin and Tino de Munk. And here are the full results. Rollins, Dore, Paskin, Huma, de Munk, de Wulf, Vierloos, Kossenen, and Vierloos, of course, winning the AM Cup championship. That was almost 6 seconds in front of Rudeni, so that was still very close after 2 hours. Then it's Pavlacek, Song, Landreth, Partes, Venema, Weicht, Horvat, and Fillingham, and we lost De Keizer, and yeah, sorry, my brain is a bit fried after 2 hours, but we lost a couple of drivers, 4 to be exact. We started with 31 and back down to 27, but still a good grid, and congratulations to everybody who has tamed the mountain. It's always a tough ask, always a tough task here around Mount Panorama. So a good job, but it's Michael Thomas once again with a win here at in the RRL GT3 Masters Championship, and that will only further his claim to the top spot come the end of the championship. Of course, we're only halfway there. We still will be traveling to Spa, to the Nordschleife, to Barcelona, and to Suzuka. So all challenges still to conquer, and all places where still there can be some mistakes. Let's see if there's anyone up for a chat. Yes, there is. Michael Thomas is. Hey, Michael, congrats on another win. that was a tough one, I think. Looking at the gap might look easy, but I don't think it was. Looks like Michael, his microphone is not picking up anything. I'm not hearing you, Michael. If you are speaking, you're not showing up as speaking. Anyway, yeah, that gap, of course, at the front, 30 seconds in the end. But yeah, it was a battle of strategy, but most importantly, of not making any mistakes. So that's always the challenge here at Bathurst. Michael has left the channel. Let's see if he rejoins. And if not, no worries. We have talked to him before, and we'll probably talk to him again in the next few races. But the next one is... I need to... Hey, Michael, good evening. Can you hear me?
How about now? Yes, there we go.
Yes, that's better.
Great.
Hey,
I did hear the original question.
All right, feel
yeah,
free to answer.
Yeah, it was really tricky just to concentrate for that amount of time. Obviously, we know how punishing Bathurst is as a track, and just about kind of getting lucky with some of the lapped cars in great places for me. I'm not sure what happened to Bram. I think he lost a lot of time maybe with an incident. Because it should have been closer at the end with the strategy differences. But yeah, I'm happy. My hands aren't happy. I'm in pain, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah, Bram had a bit of an off going over Skyline. Tried to get it slowed down, but hit the wall and had crooked steering for, I think, about half an hour in the end. So
Yeah.
I don't think it would have made a position difference. I think he would have still won because 30 seconds is not, I think, what he lost, but yeah, could have been a lot closer.
Yeah, it was really, really tricky, especially with De Kaiser in the first stint and second stint kind of closing up to the back. But I had kind of strategies ready, just maybe box, do my like splash and dash, so we don't fight and lose time, because he could play the team game.
Yeah, indeed.
So yeah, I had thought about that, but then I noticed that he was around about the time where he needed a box on his strategy, so I just kind of kept going. Thankfully, he was stayed behind and we didn't have a fight. So kind of everything you need races like this, everything to pan out in terms of like strategy, fuel, tires, weather, backmarkers, team members, just everything. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. 2 hours around the mountain is never easy. We saw some guys, yeah, having a good first hour and a worse second hour.
Yeah.
I'll drag in Bram and Wouter as well. Hey, Bram, Wouter. So
hello, good evening.
The whole top three here. Are you still alive?
Congratulations. A bit. It was exhausting.
It was.
The car is barely alive, but it made it to the end.
And for you, Wouter, how was the race? We didn't see too much of you. You were in a bit of a lonely spot for most of the time, I feel. He has the same problem.
Learn from me.
Yeah,
Hello,
indeed.
Wouter. Radio check 1 2.
I had to change my user settings from push to talk back to voice activity, if that helps.
Yeah. Anyway, Bram, that was a close one, not in time, but do you think you could have taken the battle to Michael without a mistake?
It was gonna be really close. If you're looking at the lap times and you do the mathematics, yeah. When you ran in, I then ran into the wall with a little bit under half an hour to go. A lot of damage. Worst part was my steering wheel was bent a bit to the left, so
I saw, yeah.
I lost a lot of time and I knew it was over. But I also had like 25 seconds of damage.
Ooh.
It was on the lap exactly when there was the sunrise, so got blinded and went straight. Anyway,
All right.
I guess you saw what happened.
Yeah, we checked it out. Yeah. Sorry.
It was really frustrating, but these things can happen here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. At least you could keep going somehow and still finish
Yeah, I
P2.
was amazed. I still managed into P2. Thought I would drop several positions because my lap time was a lot slower than in that last half hour. But yeah,
All right. And
given this
Wouter,
circumstances, still very happy with the result.
You
good.
kind of made it happen for yourself with that first stint of two amazing like push and lap times, so I think that helped.
I was pushing like mad,
Yeah.
honestly.
I think Wouter has fixed his technical issue. Wouter, how was your race?
I hope I fixed it yet. Thanks, Michael, for the tip. That was indeed the issue. Really difficult, tiring race because, like, the 2 hours full concentration, not even half a second of yeah, you have to be totally on it for the whole 2 hours. And the first stint, I was getting. Cliff was chasing me, was getting a little bit closer, bit by bit, tenth by tenth. Then towards the end of the stint, I managed to get away from a little bit, so I was confident for the second stint. But then all of a sudden, Cliff was absolutely flying second stint, and the gap was closing so much so fast. So I knew he would get me. Even though I pushed like as hard as I could, I couldn't increase the gap. And all of a sudden he was gone. I think he made a mistake somewhere at Skyline or just before, I don't know. And all of a sudden he was gone. And then then it was indeed a bit of a, as you said, a bit in no man's land.
Yeah.
Trying to not crash basically for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I didn't spot the mistake by Cliff. Was
I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden he was 20 seconds behind,
Yeah.
coming from 1 second. So something went wrong. I still have to check the replay.
It happened in front of me. I think he clipped the wall slightly in, what's it called? The dipper, I think. He slightly clipped it because, yeah. And then he was facing the wrong way, so.
And then actually to my big surprise, I came out after my second pit stop. I still came out in third, which was no. I expected to see who was ahead of me.
Amadeo?
Yeah, Amadeo.
Yeah,
correct. I expect to see Amadeo ahead of me, but I don't know what happened there or where he went. So I kind of got gifted P3, I think, but I mean, I'll take it.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining and thanks for the good race. It was a good watch. For sure, not boring at the front and also not in the silver and AM classes. Was also very close until the end actually. So very nice and a good preparation for the even longer race in 2 weeks time. But there you have a bit more time to at some point relax a bit during the lap. So
yeah,
let's see what Spa brings in 2 weeks time. But thanks for joining and
thank you.
see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Cheers,
See
guys.
you guys. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
GG, see you later.
So that's it for the 2 hours of Bathurst round 4 of this championship. As I said, in 2 weeks time we'll travel to Spa for the 2.4-hour race to mark round 5, and we'll see if the same players in all the classes rise to the challenge or if anyone can find some more lap time in their cars. Thanks for joining us. If you like the stream, give it a like or subscribe to the channel. and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.